Welcome to DTPDX Live, downtown Portland Live. I am Justin McDonald on Talkcast PDX. We are live streaming from Dante's. If you're not watching live, we don't hold it against you. But if you're watching later, we sure love you. All right, so make sure you do that. You can always go to talkcastpdx.com and check out all the past episodes. We've had some great guests on the show, and the trend continues today. But as you know, we're live every Wednesday from the Limbo Room. The Limbo Lounge.
Oh.
Yeah, the Limbo Lounge. I always say Limbo Room. I don't know why. Limbo Lounge here at Dante's in downtown Portland. And we usually have an interesting and fun guest of some sort. And then we talk a little bit about what's happening downtown here at Dante's and also at the Star Theater and Jack London Review and wherever else we figure we can throw some things in. So we welcome you to the program. And we want to thank Office Furniture Direct for being one of our sponsors of our network as well. Check out their website. It's ofdpdx.com. It's ofdpdx.com. And we thank them for helping sponsor the program. So with me across the table, a man named Brian Hopper.
Hello, I'm Brian Hopper.
We'll ignore the camera
Okay.
now with proper introductions. Okay.
Okay.
And welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. How did you get roped into coming into the show today?
I work here at Dante's in Star Theater, and
see?
yeah. And Jonesy was like, "Hey, you want to do this thing?" And
Great.
yeah, we talk about show. Yeah,
Jonesy's our hit man.
Yeah,
He
he's
goes out,
good.
gets our guests for us for the most part. It's a collective effort for guests. But you are in the small group of guests who have been on time or early to the program.
That's great.
So it's only like three or so you're in good company.
Oh, good.
So most everybody else is late, or they were told the wrong time, or they just didn't show up.
Right. I was told earlier, so that works out good.
That's good. That's probably why they told you.
Right. Get the buffer.
No, the person who was the latest, and I'm an outer, is Storm Larch. She was the latest, but I don't think it was her fault.
Right.
I say right up front,
Right.
It was 3 hours late.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was the night of the show, and her and Eric, everybody's running around, and we finally got him after eating. That was a long one. But Brian, thank you so much for
thank you for having me.
coming by.
This is
And
cool.
you got a cocktail. That's good.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how great the bartenders are.
Yeah, they're
at
great.
Dante's.
Yeah.
If you haven't been down to Dante's, you need to come down.
Yeah.
Downtown is back. It's coming back.
Yeah.
It's thriving. I see lots of activity down here every time I'm down here.
Yeah, it's good.
People kind of complain sometimes, but that's a norm.
Yeah,
It's a norm of Portland.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be Portland without a little bit of weirdness going on around there. I mean, So tell us a little bit about yourself. So you work a little bit here at Dante's, but you're a musician and a DJ. You do all kinds of things. We talked a little bit before. Let's start with music.
Okay, yeah, I play guitar. Right now, I just have one band. I play in this band, Hellshock. We're pushing 22 years as a band.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crusty metal punk stuff, like I don't know, 80s style, like crossover stuff mixed with like punk rock.
Like originals and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
Yeah.
That's I was wondering if it was some people say they're in the band and it's a cover band.
No,
This is a real band.
Yeah. We tour and we record.
And what's the name of the band?
Hellshock.
Hellshock. Okay.
Yeah.
I've probably seen it on a playbill.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm
Yeah,
sure.
probably. Yeah.
You guys play at Dante's from time
We
to
have
time?
not recently. One of our other guitar player lives in San Diego, so like we have to like find the sweet spot to like practice and like do shows. Yeah, this is especially coming out of COVID. We're kind of like getting new to like the new way of doing things. So like he's like, we moved down there. I was like, okay, I think we can make this work. So
did you do some online stuff?
Yeah, he'll
Zoom
send me ideas
meetings
we'll do like little home recordings of what do you think of this, and like
that's
send
cool.
riffs that way, and then like he's coming to town early or end of May. We're doing a show here in town, like our first one locally for a long time.
That's
like
awesome.
Playing for our friend Dennis Dredd's 50th birthday, so that's gonna be a big thing.
I don't know Dennis, but that sounds like a party.
Yeah, it's gonna be
fun. We were just talking about technology before. It's like Back to the Future, portable TV studio.
Yeah, totally.
But to be able to do that with the band, practice and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's
got to feel
different
good.
world now. Yeah, it's
got to feel good that you can do that.
It does.
You don't have to break up the band,
right.
Because somebody had to go to San Diego, or wherever they had to go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I think that's.
No, it's
pretty
neat.
cool.
Like it's cool. Yeah.
Awesome. So you're in Hellshock. Did you play with any other bands?
I
Any
didn't.
like alter ego bands, like country bands, or anything weird
No,
like that?
mostly just stayed in the punk metal realm. Yeah,
I know some guys like that. They play in a metal band, but then they
yeah,
do like country or blues or
right,
something on
or
the
surf.
side.
Yeah, I've got a couple
Surf.
of friends like dip into the surf or the country.
I love the surf stuff.
Yeah,
I can
but
get
yeah,
into that.
I kind of stick in my pocket where I know I'm better at this little area. You know,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So, now you also DJ. If you had to pick which one that you could do all the time, what would it be? Would it be playing music on stage or being behind the wheels of
I
steel?
think I'd prefer to tour like live as a musician. I think, but like, yeah, I mean, I miss it. I mean, I haven't played live a lot in the last 3 years because of the health stuff. But
Everybody,
yeah.
I think
But like
everybody's in
I
the same
played
boat.
one show this year. No, last year. It was a Halloween weekend. It was like a great feeling to get it back. It's like gotta keep it going, keep it going.
Yeah.
It's like
When Hellshock tours, what's the biggest tour you've ever done together in your 22 years?
We did the first European tour we did was, I want to say 10 weeks.
I bet that was
it was like
It's
we
a
were a new
different-
band,
It's a different
so it
atmosphere.
was like
there.
the shows were pretty good, but like I think if we did, we're at the point where like, okay, now if we did that, it would be awesome, but also we're older and we probably don't want to do 10 weeks. So it's like
5 weeks is good.
Yeah, exactly. We can hit it and quit it. And, yeah.
So let me ask you this question about Europe though, because I feel like the rock audiences in Europe compared to America are completely different.
They are.
When you walk on stage in some small Scandinavian town near Oslo or something,
right.
as Hellshock, I mean it's
a big
horns up. People are ready to rock.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Like especially playing Oslo is amazing. Like I played there, it's awesome.
But here, sometimes it takes a little more to get people.
Luckily, we have some love here. But some bands don't though. That is a weird thing. Like Americans are fickle. So
yeah,
I see. So like a lot of bands are like better out of the country, but like I think we're fortunate that we got people locally that like us too. So.
I just think the European fan base is
it's pretty amazing.
It's more metal.
It is
for sure, and they don't care who it is.
Right.
They do to some extent. But they're like,
yeah. I mean, you got some people that are there to see what's going to happen if they don't know what the band is or not. You know,
right.
And then you'll have people that actually know the band. Like
favorite city when you were touring in Europe.
Ooh.
I know that's a tough question. It's a loaded question, all those things, but there's so many
Berlin's
cities.
always good.
Berlin.
I don't know.
We'll just stick with Berlin.
Yeah, Berlin's good. Yeah.
Berlin's good.
Yeah, it is.
Food's good. Beer's good. People good. It's good.
Falafel on every corner. Yeah.
So you guys are going to play a show towards the end of the month, though?
Yeah. We're playing. June 4th, we're playing our friend Dennis Dredd's 50th birthday.
That's right. You said that.
Yeah.
Right? That's the big party.
Yeah,
that's going to be a good one.
Fun. He's flying up this death metal band called Autopsy. They played. It's going to be their second time ever playing Portland. Wow. It's going to be a crazy show.
Now, is it going to do any new material or anything?
Yeah. We have a new LP actually coming out by July, August. So we'll play half probably of that stuff and some oldies.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's switch gears a little bit from music, being on stage, to DJing.
Yeah.
So how did you get into that? I never asked you how you got into music.
Yeah. How I got into music.
Let me ask you about music.
Me and my brother kind of got my brother is 4 years older than me, and growing up in Battleground, Washington, very small town.
Yeah.
When you're a little different in those type of cities, you tend to especially if you like hard rock and
why is he wearing eyeliner?
What's that?
Why is he wearing eyeliner?
Yeah. Especially in the 80s.
Yeah.
We got a lot of we got in a lot of fights.
That's funny.
We basically just got into KGON had Heavy Metal Shop in the 80s, the radio station. That was some of the early metal that we heard in 80, 81, 82. And, it was like, wow, this is what we like. And we kind of got into things that way. And it was like living in a small hick town. It's like, you kind of had to stick together.
Gotcha. Well, I'm glad I backtracked on that.
Yeah.
Switching back to the DJing thing, how did you get into that? And I want to ask you a couple different questions
Yeah.
about your
I think
set lists and things
I
like
helped.
that.
I helped a friend on a radio show doing a DJ night, and then a couple times, and then like a couple friends had bars in the late '90s, early 2000s. They started to have like more like
Yeah.
punk and heavy metal DJ nights, and then so I started like they'd ask me, and I'd like, sure, I've got a lot of records, so I started doing it like that, and I've been kind of going strong for over
Have
long
records
time.
will travel.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me.
It kind of fuels itself. It's like, well, I have records. I'm gonna DJ, so I have to buy more records because I'm gonna DJ.
Yeah. As a long-standing radio veteran myself, what do you remember the very first album you played over the air,
Oh,
or at least maybe at a gig?
I want to say probably AC/DC. I would think. Like, I mean, they're always going to be one of my favorites. Like, and they get any bar moving, like
Right.
especially if you get the right like mid pace like rocking song. Like,
Sure. I remember the first song I played over the air was The Cure's "Hot, Hot, Hot."
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was in high school.
Okay.
My high school had a radio station, so we actually had it was like an in-house radio station.
Uh-huh.
Then we actually got a tower and the whole shebang.
Oh, wow.
So I was like the first guy to broadcast.
That's
first song,
awesome.
hot, hot.
That's great. That's great.
But we were more like during the day. We were like an eclectic, type of music format, like Spyro Gyra, things like that. And then like after 5 o'clock it was volunteers, and then it went crazy.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a lot of fun. So
that's awesome.
did you ever get to do anything like that?
I didn't
Volunteer
do any,
radio type stuff,
yeah,
like a KBOO.
Well,
I
KBOO,
think.
yeah, I did KBOO. I
X-Ray,
went
by
on-
the way.
Yeah,
like
I
X-Ray.
have friends that do X-Ray. I haven't done that yet, but KBOO for sure during wartime. I've been on there a couple times, just with buddies spinning music, and actually Hellshock has played on live during wartime before too. So,
Right. So you can say a lot of your DJ influences come from longtime DJs in the Portland area, like Iris, KGON,
for sure, yeah.
Mike Turner. A lot of these guys, have been around for a long time. Awesome peeps.
Yeah.
They help shape that early.
Especially, that 80s, that pocket, and like when living in Battleground, you'd get a couple radio stations, not all, but you'd get KGON, you'd get KBOO, and then there was Z1 or the 100. I think it was or Z100. I forget what it was. Like for a couple of years, there was like this hard rock station,
and then you can get the Rocket out of Longview.
Yeah.
You can get a couple of those other stations up along the I-5 corridor.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people.
But I'd have my grandpa's old radio, and I'd like tune it in and like get my cassette ready and like record stuff. And, that's early '80s.
Radio's not dead in little towns up and down the I-5 corridor. You got the biggies in Portland and Seattle, but in between there's some great radio going on in there.
Yeah,
I gotta say.
I remember picking up Canadian stuff like when I was like on vacation with parents in like northern Washington. You get like. I think Sea Fox was one of them.
Sea Fox, yeah.
I remember that.
That's a big one. There's all kinds of the cool, just to be able to pick those things up and be able to get influenced by those things. I think
find something that's like, this is something that moves you anyway.
Right. So when you do sets, how many DJ sets do you do a month, or do you?
Actually, I'm doing really strong at this point, at least once a week. So like, probably like 4 to 6 a month.
Staying active.
Yeah.
When you do these, it just depends probably on where you're doing the gig and what you're going to play. But what do you like to go to?
I like to do a lot of I like to do 70s, 80s punk and 70s, 80s metal and hard rock, and then depending on the bar or whatever, I'll dip into like power pop and glam, 70s glam and
all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I was just looking real quick at what Dante's has coming up, because during the program we like to just bounce off real quick and talk about what's happening here downtown, here in Portland. Dante's has some good stuff this week. Tomorrow, Thursday, Stunt Driver solo with Quando and Blush Button. I've only heard of one of those bands.
Yeah.
Tickets are only $10.
Yeah, it should be good. I think it'll be good.
And people are looking for stuff to do, and then you're getting out of the house. You can wear a mask if you want.
Right?
You don't have to, but do what you want. Come on down. And then on Friday, Robots of the Ancient World.
That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, Head of the Hive with
Yeah.
special guest Pink Boa.
Yeah.
Now I've heard of all these bands.
Yeah, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good heavy rocking night.
Yeah,
sure.
$15 for a good time on a
especially
Friday
on a weekend.
night.
Yeah.
Jeez, on a Friday night. And then I just want to hit Saturday really quick because I saw this second best 20-year bandiversary was Stumblebum, Fucked by Association,
I love that band name.
and Joel Hickson. I just love the name, Fucked by Association.
I don't know anything about them, but that name is awesome.
You win the band name of
Yeah,
the night,
totally.
okay? Just so you know. And then, of course, on the weekend, Sinferno Cabaret.
That's awesome.
I mean, come on now.
Yeah,
that's going to be, that's always a good
22
time.
years.
Yeah, it's
That's
always a good
awesome.
time. It's not
It
ever
is.
a dull moment on that. So what kind of projects, actually, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Battleground.
That's right. You said
Battleground,
Battleground.
Washington, which is
Now, did you go to college anywhere else? Did you leave town? You just been
well, I went straight from Battleground to the big city, Vancouver.
Ooh, to the Couve.
when I was probably 18. And then once I got there, I was like, this isn't big city enough. So I moved to Portland early 90s, and then I've been here until I moved back to help my mom out.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome
Yeah.
that you did that. I don't know why it blanked me there for a second on the Battleground thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if we talked about you going off somewhere else and coming back.
Nah, yeah.
Sometimes people leave and then they're like, man, I had it so much better
Right.
in Portland.
I kind of always enjoyed it here. So
yeah.
I mean, I traveled.
High school
enough.
was good?
No. I mean,
were you in band or anything like that, or football or anything?
I started my first band then, and I was no good. I didn't know how to play, and I was trying, but I had I guess the seed was there, but I just wasn't in the right spot until early 90s or something like that, until I got out and into my own. But
that's
high school was, for long hair in a small hick town, it's a hard time.
Yeah, long hair in the 80s.
Anyway.
It was, and long hair back in the 80s was tough period.
It was.
I mean, I remember I had long hair going into the 90s, down long hair, and I ended up just cutting it all off.
Yeah.
Just because I had to get a job. And
right.
No one's going to hire you.
Right.
Then we went a bunch of hippies, got into radio and record stores.
Yeah.
I worked at record stores,
That's
that kind of thing. That's what I did.
That's cool.
Records and radio stations. That's where I spent all my time. And bookstores like Tower Books.
Yeah, Tower Books.
Oh, God, I'd spend an hour in there
sneaking,
trying to get someone to sell me a copy of High Times.
Right.
I wasn't 21 yet. Right. So what do you got? Hellshock's going to play at the end of the month. You got the release coming up. Tell me a little bit about how that came about. How many months of work is that? And,
okay, Hellshock's, we were, before the pandemic, we were hitting our 20-year anniversary. We were getting all geared up. We were starting to think about recording a new record. We're going to have a 20-year anniversary show, and then COVID hit. So it was okay, well, we'll back off from that idea, and then we'll just start. So me and the drummer just started playing together for, writing songs, basically just the two of us for months and months and months. And then we finally got enough songs. So we started recording me and him, and then expanded, when things started opening up more, it was okay, we'll have all four of us in the recording studio at the same time. And then it just took longer than normal, but I'm more than happy about the way it turned out. Cause we could, nitpick the hell out of it.
Now, when you release this body of work, do you do it in vinyl form?
Vinyl first, actually.
Vinyl?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, a big part of the scene, I would say, is vinyl mostly, but we're definitely gonna do CD and cassette, just because there's people that want both of those.
Really?
Yeah.
I just always curious about the cassette. And
cassette is, it came back, but also in a lot of smaller countries, it's kind of maybe the only format too.
They get an old Walkman or a new one, and they're lose their minds.
Yeah, just they get the technology a little later sometimes.
I haven't bought a CD in a long, long time. I've been packing around about 3,000 plus CDs for 20 years.
Yeah.
Rare finds, things like that. And I had a big vinyl collection at one point in my life, but I moved so much I could not sustain it.
I think that's what usually kills it. People's, I mean, I understand it because it's
if you have to move a lot. If you have to move a lot, being a vinyl collector ain't your thing.
It's some work.
Or baseball cards or sports cards, any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I have an older friend of mine. He's 51, and we both grew up in the record store and that kind of thing. But collecting and going to concerts and just everything you could find. Kiss figure, everything, jerseys and shirts. Yeah. And his house that he owns with his wife and his two kids, beautiful kids. The whole basement is racks and racks and racks of shirts, concert shirts, jerseys, and then there's just containers of action figures, like all music stuff, like band, like Kiss figures. I mean, it's nuts. All right, you got a problem.
I love the memorabilia stuff. Like I've been like these days, I've been like buying old like 80s tour buttons and stuff, like from people that are like just trying to. I found this in my closet and then buy like. I don't know, like a Motorhead 10-year anniversary button from somebody.
I'm big on the buttons.
$10 or something. I like that shit.
I'm really big on the buttons. I used to buy rock buttons all the time. You could go to the record store, you buy records, you buy buttons.
I did,
I buy them all the time, and I had just so many of them, and I found a whole bunch of them. I'm just going to put them on my clothes. I don't care. Welcome back, 1982.
Now I kind of like, I'll wear them, but I have to like make sure the back is on correctly because like I've lost them over the years. It's like, fuck.
Here's one for you. I recently found in my collection some little tiny records about this big with gum.
Yeah,
the records were gum.
I remember that.
And I found Billy Joel glass houses.
I was gonna say there was a Judas Priest one.
Yeah, Judas Priest one. I had a Toto one and a Police one, and
I forgot the name of them.
And they were still wrapped up.
That's awesome.
I had no idea.
You didn't eat the gum.
I didn't even open. I put them back in the trunk. I was like, look at these. I can't believe I put these in here.
Flip top. I forget the name. They had a like kind of nerdy.
I had to look. I was probably like 11 when I put them in there. I was like probably 11 when I put them in this box, and I never looked in the box again.
Wow. Yeah, I definitely had those, but like. I lost those years ago. I wish I had them.
Don't eat the gum.
No.
Yeah, good advice. If you got old collectibles with gum in it, don't eat the gum.
I don't know why you would be tempted to do so.
It's like chalk. It's terrible. It's terrible. Well, Brian, so you got the band. Hellshock's doing their thing at the end of the month, the new release. Do you guys have a website?
We do. Actually, on Instagram and on Facebook. We don't have our own, like, domain. We should.
Gotcha.
We have it.
But you're on Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah. Hellshockpdx.com. Yeah.
Hellshock.
Or not .com, but like Facebook and
at Hellshock PDX.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you guys want to check out the band, it's at Hellshock on Instagram and Facebook.
And Facebook. Yeah.
So it's the same for both.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's smart. That's smart marketing.
Yeah,
you don't want to have like 10 different names.
Right.
I know some people that do that. I'm like, dude, why do you got 2 different names?
Right.
I try to do the same thing for my stuff. It's like, keep it consistent.
Yeah.
So, well, I look forward to actually. I'd like to see the band. Hopefully, we'll get to see you guys play at some point. I just dig local live music.
Yeah.
And
we're itching to play it too. But we, like I said, we have like out of town guitar players, so we can only do little pockets. Shows.
Do you play any other instruments?
Just guitar, yeah.
Just guitar? Yeah. All right. Do you like more lead or rhythm? What do you like?
Mostly rhythm and like kind of the guy that writes the songs.
Yeah.
And like
you like to get off with the solo
and some of the leads. Yeah. I'll do like the not so hard leads.
Yeah.
The ones the melodic ones.
But you like to get off with a solo once in a while.
Oh,
all right.
Let
me ask you this question. I'm not going to try to get anybody in trouble, but I was just reading this article about how this group panned musicians, male musicians, music in general, for the guitar solo as being a male masochist type of outlet. And I was like, what? And I'm like thinking to myself, I know some ladies that wail.
Yeah,
that can totally, they I'm talking about the aggression and all this stuff, and I'm like, come on, you're pushing it a little too far, right?
Yeah, no, that's just.
Do you think about that? I mean,
I've never thought of it that way. I've thought of it just as cathartic in general.
Maybe
like it doesn't have to be a male female thing. It's just like you getting whoever you are.
Yeah,
you're getting your anger or whatever emotion. Yeah,
you're releasing.
Yeah,
they were just trying to say, look, the male dominated rock star image of the '60s, the late '70s. I can see that a little bit, but that's long gone. So just because a guy is out there doing a solo wailing doesn't mean he's F women.
I know many women that are way better than I am.
That's what I'm saying. There's women that I see do solos. I'm just like, hell yeah. I think of it more as just expression.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
I just had to ask that question because I've
Yeah.
asked several musicians that same
I've never
question.
even thought of that. But like, I mean, I guess that's, something you could throw around the campfire. Some question
Totally.
you can just
Totally, and I'm not
talk
trying to
about.
cause controversy. A little bit, maybe. I'm not trying to, but it's a discussion that I heard taking place in another podcast, and I was like, wow, I never thought about that. And on this podcast, we talk a lot with musicians.
Yeah.
So when I get a professional musician in front of me, I like to ask that question, whether it's male or female. As Storm Large, the same question. So,
Okay.
I was just like, what do you think about that? And everybody's the same thing. Expression, baby.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What you identify
Right,
or whatever.
It does.
It's about expression.
Yeah.
So Cool. Thank you, Brian Hopper.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging in there for that last little question.
I enjoy it. I enjoy those kind of
Everybody, Brian Hopper from Hellshock, and make sure you be on the lookout for their stuff. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. And that's going to do it for DTPDX Live this week. We're going to wrap it up. We're live from the Limbo Lounge.
Yes.
I got it right.
Yay!
8 weeks I've been saying in the Limbo Room. Hey, I got it right. So we just want to say thanks to everybody. Go to TalkCast PDX. Check out all the past episodes. And, of course, follow us on Instagram at TalkCast PDX and on Facebook as well at TalkCast PDX. And until next time, just keep on keeping on. Brian, again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll chat at you next time.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers.